Luke, why are your goldfish eating sand? Is this okay for them? Are they gonna die? I get a lot of questions about my goldfish eating sand, and with good reason. Half the time you see them go in my videos, they're slooping up like a lot of sand. A lot of sand goes in those bites. So a lot of people are asking, is this okay for the fish? Well, stay tuned. I'm gonna answer all your questions in this video. Do they actually eat the sand? Well, I will say sometimes, yes, sometimes they do eat the sand. And when they do eat the sand, people ask, well, if they eat the sand, is this okay for them? Like, are they able to poop this out? And the answer to that is yes. When they do eat the sand, they are able to poop it out. The sand is small enough to pass through their digestive system without a problem. And you can actually find in their poop, there will be pieces of the sand. Why do they eat the sand? Well, they're not always eating the sand. When they do eat the sand, when they do go and actually consume it, the reason they're doing it is because they're trying to get food off of it. Whether or not there's actually pellets on the ground, their goal in sifting through the sand is to get food. A lot of times this is just a very microscopic small amount of algae on the bottom substrate, or there's poop and other stuff in there. But the reason they quote unquote eat the sand is so they can get food. Even if there isn't food you can see there's always little tiny pieces of food. Another question I get is, are they able to sift through the sand and spit the sand out and only eat the food? And actually, this is what happens 90% of the time. Usually when you put a goldfish in a tank with sand, at first maybe they'll eat a little bit of sand with every bite, but they eventually learn that they can spit the sand out and only consume the food. And you'll see them dropping sand from their mouth all the time. People think goldfish are very dumb, and a lot of times they will. Little Dumpy, he's a little Dumbo sometimes. Some of my other fish are very dumb sometimes. But they can learn skills. They can learn to slurp up a big thing of sand and really just suck off the food from it and just get the pellets in, but leave the sand behind. So they're smarter than a lot of people give them credit for. They are able to differentiate between sand and food, especially once they've been in the tank for a little while and learn the difference between the two of them. Now, is there a risk they're going to get impaction and get constipated from eating too much sand? Well, there is somewhat of a risk of that happening, but honestly, I think that risk is so little. I've never had it happen to one of my goldfish, and I believe the benefits of sand outweigh the risks. And you're probably thinking, well, what even are the benefits of sand? Well, one, I think it's great for environmental stimulation for these goldfish. I don't like putting fake decor in these tanks because I think they really easily get hurt on that decor. But I believe sand is a great way for them to have something to do all day long. Like, they actually get to sift through and play through the sand, and I think it gives them an activity to do throughout their entire day. Another benefit of sand I see is that it has a lot of surface area, so it's actually a good breeding ground for beneficial bacteria. So this will kind of keep the nitrogen cycle of your system a little more stable. If your filter media kind of has a die-off and you don't have as many beneficial bacteria colonies in there, the sand kind of acts as a little backup ground for all that beneficial bacteria to keep the nitrogen cycle nice and stable. And the third benefit is that visually, I just think it looks nice. I think black sand in a tank looks very, very cool. So overall, if you're going to put sand in your goldfish tank, I don't really think you have to worry. If they do start eating it, they will be able to poop it out. And for the most part, after they kind of learn a little bit, they're able to sift through the sand and differentiate that from the food. It's not going to hurt them. There's a small possibility they might get a little bit of constipation from it. But if that happens, you can use Epsom salt. You can increase the water temperature, and that can kind of help get that out of their system. But for the most part, I think definitely go ahead, add some sand to your system. Don't make it too thick of a layer, because then there's a risk of anaerobic bacteria building up, which could potentially be harmful. But, a little like half-inch layer of sand should be perfectly fine for any goldfish tank. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to smash that like button and the subscribe button. Really helps me out. And also, we have a ton of different goldfish merch linked down in the description. We got Dumpy, we got the aquatic chicken Steve. We got all kinds of designs. I would really appreciate it if you guys went and check that out. Thank you very much. Luke's Goldies out.